if we want the blessing, then we got to know who the blesser is. And Jesus came here on this earth, Yeshua, to show us the way home to the Father. And he also says, but I have to leave. But when I leave, I will leave you the Holy Spirit, the one who created this universe, the one with the power, the one with the healing. So if we want the blessings in our life, then I would invite each of you to discover that relationship with the Holy Spirit. It says, when the day of Pentecost came, they were all together in one place. Suddenly, a sound like the blowing of a violent wind came from heaven and filled the whole house where they were sitting. They saw what seemed to be tongues of fire that separated and came to rest on each of them. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit enabled. Now, this story is so fascinating because um, prior to in Acts, it talked about there was a follow. Jesus had this following, and so because of all the miracles, and it said there were like 320, and so all of them, Jesus invited to the upper room. But you know, my friends, how many showed up? Only 120. You know, when we see miracles, we run after those, but Jesus is all about relationships. And so, with one third of them um, only got the message, let's go up, let's tarry. Because Jesus says, you wait. We have our agendas, and the Holy Spirit is saying, wait for the filling of the Holy Spirit. What is that calling for you tonight? You know, what is that awareness of who God is and what the Holy Spirit wants to fill us with? Jesus always said, many are called, but few are chosen. You know, I think all were called in a sense, but again, what is our priorities? If the Holy Spirit is your best friend, however you see the Holy Spirit, that there is something very tangible that happens when we call upon, and also the manifestation of those. So to be the fire of God, and if you've never experienced the fire of God, look out, people. It has joy and has owie in it. Because God begins to burn away those things that I call bind us, and depression, illness, disease, separation. Um, the list goes on. But again, we don't have to think about it. We need to just open up and allow the Holy Spirit to purge our hearts of what binds us. Because in that place, this fire takes over and we begin to burn afresh. Like I said, it's about the relationship with God. And for me, I discovered that many years ago, you know, working with Ron Roth, and he always taught about faith. He always talked about entering into a place, but it was always with a relationship, not outside of it. Because we can all, I mean, I should say we, I'll own it myself. I can do my own thing, and then I want God to bless it. So it's like Paul's agenda, but God's, you bless that. And I think in the beginning, God says, oh, I'll give you that. I'll give you a little line or a little slack and allow that to happen. But you know, as we continue to mature in the spirit, that we get tested. But when we tap back into who gave us life, who gave us breath, to me, that's where the joy comes from. So to me, the Holy Spirit can use each of us. Maybe you are depressed. Maybe you're having a job situation that it's in crises and you're trying to hold that together. And then you go home and then you either have to take care of your elderly parents or a child, and there's no peace in your heart. You know, the Holy Spirit, I believe, using Ron's example, that the Holy Spirit desires for each of you to step into something brand new. Because we need to unload the stuff that weights us down. And my friend, the Holy Spirit, is here tonight for you, for each of us.